Right, now we've gone to the assets. This one's the reloading. So if I play no, or you can hear a shift difference. And then obviously you've got all this for the weapons fire. So you get the point in that one. Then I have two randoms here, which modulates these between values, and for some reason they suddenly stop working every so often. I think it might be due to the recording, but gone to this modulator, drove that up to 5 and that up to 5.5. I don't use this one down here, so that's like the old one anyway. Why aren't you? I don't know if you can hear that on audio, but yeah, that's the first step to do anyway. This one's the audio HUD thing. Basically, when you click back, it uses all this to save it. Creates the settings because obviously it goes back to the regular settings. And the construct, set the base sound mix, does save game exist, branch, if it does then load it, if it doesn't then make one, do set all the values of the sliders, and then of course when you can do this, this just saves it. Yeah, but what, and then obviously when you hover over the back button it changes the opacity by a bit. Credits, these just have URLs onto them. Get rid of that one and that one. This is let's do the weapon base first. Weapon mesh, which is obviously here it says default value nothing, but on here it's got the first person gun. Basically gets a socket location. For the line trace start and end, and does the half angle in degrees by the spread of 2, which is probably a little bit too much at long range. Yeah, so then you also got the fire hit scan, which obviously it's if it is an enemy, then it'll do it for an enemy because I was planning on having enemies for having the lasers. But yeah, if it's not, this will default to false if it's the player that's holding it. Does weapons fire, does a line trace between the first person character as camera, again spread of 2, uh, times by range, basically it goes this the cone, this the range, which is like 10,000, and it ignores itself. Yeah, see, this one is visible. One does, there's 2 here, but that's because you needed this for this bit, if that makes any sense. Anyway, so no, it applies damage to the damage actor of damage of 50, which is obviously the only damage actor is the drone. And then we're going to basic rifle. If it's not reloading, then get the parent weapon, which is the weapon base, basically, if I go into this. That, basically. Uh, if the current ammo is not 0, then it will play the montage. And if not, it will reload, which calls this one a weapon base. Which further down here is where it does the event reload. So if it's not reloading, set reloading to true. I didn't use that, of course. X ADS, which is basically just zoom. It plays a reloading montage and sets it to a current arrow to max ammo. Then sets reloading off. This I thought I got rid of, but I guess I didn't. Basically just prints the string of it reload of how much it's set that to, which I should be able to just get rid of. But yeah, that's those ones. Uh, go into BPs, enemies, base. There's setting the weapon and all that, call on equip weapon and stuff. Then you got all of these for the AI. Got all of these for tasks, which if I look at one of the ones it uses, which is this enemy base, plays the shoot animation, bind an event attack, and finish attacking, finish execute. Basically, if I'd plug the finish execute off of there, it would just start the next thing before it finished. Yeah, I can close all of these ones. These are all like behavior tree tasks. If I go into the AI behavior tree, um, I don't use this, which is just a yeah, basically just find somewhere where the player can't see that one. Uh, Selector. If the blackboard condition of attacking is true, then it'll do all of this. If it's already wielding the weapon, it leaves it alone. And then this obviously on a 5 second cooldown, it will do the attacking. And then if it's not doing that, it'll do this one, which is check whether it's an ideal range, which then it'll set the movement speed to sprinting and move to the ideal range. And if it's not, then it'll go into through this, which is set focus target, which is the player, movement speed, run the query, move to that point of interest and wait between 3 and 2 seconds. Well, no, sorry, 0.3 and 0.2, like plus or minus 0.2. Then obviously it's in, which one's this one? If it's investigating, which I didn't realistically use, I was planning on using that, but I never did. Okay, so this one is if the condition is passive, which is what you saw it as doing before it found me, it would literally just check whether it is wielding the weapon. If it is, it sheaths the weapon, runs selector, then if it has patrol route, then it does this. If not, then it'll clear its focus, so it's not staring at where the player would be. And then basically just the behavior tree task of wander, which and then I'll wait 2 to 4 seconds. If I go into the wander task, it just gets its current location, uh, sets that, and then finds a random regional pull point in that radius and goes there. And then it will finish the execute. Yeah. Uh, don't need anything, and spawners actually. Drone spawner. If we go into the event graph, start here then. Event begin play. It sets the amount of drones. Delay of 2 seconds sets drone information, which is just saying that's the health bar thing. Event tick. 0 goes through checking whether next drone is 0. The time until next drone is 0. If it is, then it will spawn. It'll check this. Whether there is an amount of drones that it can spawn, and then it will spawn drone which does this. Gets the active transform, lets it drop down a little bit, sets that variable and adds it to the current drone amount. It'll take the current drone amount -1. It's clamped between 0 and obviously its max of 5. And then obviously if it equals 0, it will set drones to no more drones, and if it isn't, it sets drones to tick. And then it'll set if basically the time to next drone until that reaches 0, it won't spawn another drone. Uh, and update drone information just goes and says, here's the drone amount, set that text. Because I believe this is the right one. What I was originally going to do was give the spawner some stats, but I'm like, it's not really necessary at the moment, or at all for now. Yeah, back to the event graph. The next pin is if drones is true, then a delay of 1 before it does time until next drone, minusing 1 from it. Then it will update the drone information, which again is something that I'm not actually using, so I could get rid of. Then pin number 2, branch, if drones is false, it will do a delay of 2 seconds, loop around the current drones it's got in its array, loops the body, and if it's a valid object, then it leaves it. If not, it will remove it from the array, and will set if it's of game. If it's not valid, it will add to the drone amount that it can hold. Set the drones killed to +1. Update drone information. Time until next drone 5. Drones tick. There we go. And basically, once it's completed that, it will call the check again, which reopens this, and then again it'll go through this only if it can spawn, if it can't spawn any more drones. So that's that. Let's see what else. Nothing under there. Oh, animations, ANS. This one's a what does ANS stand for again, brain? What do you stand it for? Oh, anyway, basically, gets the first person character, stops the target, was it? The animation, basically, and then it plays a animation of reloading, weapon animation, yeah, there's the animation it plays, which obviously, for some reason down here it says default value of none, but when I click on here, it still says none, but the point is it plays that reloading animation that you've already seen. What else? Go back to content, first person blueprints, first person character, viewport. I've set it up like this. Skeletal mesh asset's just been left because that's under that one. We've got this mesh, which none of them actually have a skeletal mesh. If I click on this one, it's mesh 1p there. Yeah. Player UI, this does like the ammo count and the health widget, like spawning them. This does all the variables. So update the UI for health and update the ammo one. Get weapon just checks what weapon it's already got. Finalize scores just basically finalizes all the scores, which is this one's basically goes and says how long you survived for when you die. Time, this is just like a timer for the timer to count up. Instruction script, set the weapon VP, which is this here, to basic rifle. Under event graph, it gets, this one is a, basically zooming, gets the weapon, reloads. If it's not reloading, then it will set the play rate of this. So basically it zooms in, and it will, as it updates, the ADS alpha changes this, which sets the field of view and all that. It's got a couple of parameters, field of view, that, which the A is the only alpha that stays the same. All of this needed a linear interpolate between them all. Yeah, that's the ADS. If I just zoom all the way out, we've got all of this to basically cover quickly. The reloaded, which obviously does the reloading of the weapon. Um, this just was to test the enemy. I think this one's also, yeah, this one's also to test the enemy, so both of these can actually go, but I will leave it there for now. But what I will do, no, I should leave that fully. This one is the timeline walking animation. So when you saw the weapon sway and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. Um, then you got the coyote time, which basically just goes, "Are you falling?" And it also allows to a couple of milliseconds before you actually leave the after you leave the surface of a thing to actually jump. So you're not just so you don't have to have like perfect jumping or anything. Um, Jumping and landing, so it sets whether you're falling and all that. Which is basically just going, oh, you're falling. So yeah. Anyway, if it's paused, if I use the input action pause, which is a key thing, it sets the game to pause to true. Creates the pause menu, adds it to viewport, UI only, show mouse cursor, both onto player controller. Crouch obviously just checks whether I can stand, which is basically going, is there someone above me? Then, yeah. And if you hold shift, it stays down unless I'm under someone that can't allow me to stand. All this under the event begin play. This one's the default. Sequence 2, if I get the weapon, it's equip the weapon, that, and that. And then 2, set gameplay timer, widget timer, add to viewport, recall timer. Basically just goes through this function of adding the time, and then it will go back to recalling that timer. But we don't have to go through that because that's the default stuff. We already went through that one. This one's going, if you're not, basically applies damage. If I'm not dead, then apply that damage. If not, it just does nothing. And basically, obviously, at the end, if my health is 0, it calls the death thing. This is event tick. Player's health, if player's health is valid, which player health is just the HUD thing. And if not, it gets the current level. If the level is not equal, if it's the main map menu, then it does nothing. But if it's anything else, it will add this HUD stuff. Basically, this is where this one's called, which basically just goes, stop movement, disable movement, delay of 2, current noise equals 0. If it checks if there's a 0, which I've defaulted that to 0 for demonstration purposes. If it's not true, then it will respawn me back at the start. If not, it goes to death screen, which just sets game pause, player controller, create lose screen widget, lose screen, add to viewport, and set the UI only. Show mouse cursor, finalize score, which just does all that. Yeah, that's all that.